Hello. This is my first time doing a review. I haven't done this before, but this movie that I watched today, The Kashmir Files, got me into doing one. Well, quite honestly, I had my doubts before watching this movie, despite its promotions and the interviews, which were really promising, and we could see the truth. Yet I had my doubts, because the thing about most Indian directors is that they're very good at just turning a good non-fiction story into a complete fiction, making it a pot boiler. And if it's a biopic, then jingoism could be a star ingredient. So those were my doubts, but this movie is definitely was an eye-opening experience for me, really. And this movie is entirely based on the interviews made with the first generation of the Kashmiri Pandits who were victims of genocide. And let me tell you the idea that I had about this whole concept of migration. I thought, all right, so Kashmiri Pandits had to flee away from Kashmir and settle down in Jammu during 90s. That's the only idea I had. But when I did a little bit of reading, watched authentic documentaries and interviews by the reporters such as Manoj Raghuvanshi and another reporter whose name I forgot, who did on the ground journalism, covering real stories as opposed to covering up, which was done by the only channel that we had back in the day, that is Doordarshan. And plus I was I'd hear my family recount those incidents. So by all these I could tell that there was a violence indeed, but boy, little did I know about the brutality and the mass atrocities that this film has shown very clearly, very, very clearly. And all the events in this movie are real, completely real. And in fact, they've made it less intense. So if this was less intense, I can only fathom what extremes were, be it the blood transfusion scene, or be it shooting a man in when he was hiding in a rice drum and forcing his wife eat the same rice mixed with his fresh blood, forcing it into her mouth, or be it mass shootings, or be it people hanging them from the trees, plucking their eyes out and stripping them stripping the skin off their bodies. All this is true. And cutting a human into two pieces, in two halves. And it's a little emotional, and it is disturbing actually. You would have seen in magic shows sawing a woman, and it's magic. But just imagine if same thing had to happen in real with any of us. Just imagine. It's brutal. It's very, very brutal, and I'm still processing the whole thing, and it's difficult. It's surprising. It's shocking that out of entire film fraternity, Bollywood film fraternity, a close-knit fraternity, only a handful of people have come in support of this. Such a real movie made by the director Vivek Agnihotri. It clearly sends out the message that high politics materialism and national interests override human rights and humanity. It completely overrides humanity, and it also sends out a very important message, in fact an alarming fact, that how little do we know about our own history, or how wrong are we about our own history, and especially people with fleeting knowledge. How easy is it for one to just brainwash them and pollute their minds and feed them with concocted false narrative, if only it serves one's a political agenda, you know. That's the message that's given based on the true events. Anyone can just go authenticate those. It's right there on Google, and it's on Wikipedia, everywhere on social media. You just have to do a proper research than just having just cursory understanding of things. So well, I am extremely thankful as an Indian. I'm extremely thankful to the director, to the firstly the current Indian government, and the director Vivek Agnihotri. I am with her along, and the entire team to for making this wonderful film before the right time. The right time was made, because before the certain political and media sleuths would just turn it into yet another fictional story which would be fed to our coming generations. So I'm happy that this film was made, and I urge everyone to go watch this movie in theaters, because we need to support such movies.